Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Duplex, New York's most historic cabaret theater. For the consideration of the performer, we ask you to please silence your cell phones, and also would like to let you know that flash photography is prohibited. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Duplex is very proud to present Off and On Again, a drag journey along the Great Gender Highway.
Oh, hello there. I wasn't expecting company. But you are most welcome, each and every one of you, especially you. I'm Sylvia London, and since you're all here, as soon as I'm done with my bath, I'm going to tell you a story. A story about love and loss, wise queer elders, sex, booze, drag queens, radical fairies, a magical book, and a long-ass road trip. You'll hear it all, just as soon as I'm done with my bath. You see, on nights that I have a drag gig, I always like to start my process with a long, luxurious bubble bath. It's become a ritual. I soak in the bubbles, drinking something bubbly, and let the troubles of this man-eat-man world wash away. Effortlessly, my skin becomes softer, smoother, sweeter, my body more relaxed and present to the sensual, sacred, feminine energy flowing through it. Sorry, sometimes I get a little carried away, but I do love a bubble bath. It's a wonderful place to think. How can we push back against the cisgendered, able-bodied, femme-phobic, sexist, misogynist, white supremacist, heteropatriarchal hegemony? Perhaps I should have gone with the Rouge Noir instead of the Rouge Plum lipstick shade today. Think, Sylvia, think. What is it really that makes a man and a woman a woman? Is it the clothes he wears, the hair she combs, the shoes that fit their feet? Is it the way she sits, the way he stands, or what other people think? When in my process do I switch from Will to Sylvia, from he to she? To me. Me! Sometimes I get a last-minute drag gig and I have to skip the bubble bath ritual altogether and get ready in the bathroom of the club I'm working at. I know, real glamorous, the bathroom of a club. It's usually before they open, so except for an occasional bartender or cocktail waitress, it's pretty private, but I still like to be considerate, so I start the process in the men's room. Putting on the foundation, doing all the eye details, blushing out the cheeks. Hey there, dude. I then take the drag bag, I sneak into the women's room, slip into the handicap stall. It's always roomier in there. I put on my dress, my heels, and of course my hair. And then my lipstick at the mirror. I take one final look, and something within me shifts. I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore. And I know too much to go back and pretend that I heard it all before. And I've been down there on the floor, and no one's ever gonna keep me down again. Oh yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born to pay. Hey, yes, I've paid the price, but look how much I gained. If I had to, I can do anything. I am strong, strong. I am invincible, invincible. I am woman. I do love that song. I do love that song. But I must admit, I haven't always been the strong, confident drag queen you see before you tonight. You see, my drag journey has been a long one. It all started with a broken heart. It's the year 2000, the dawn of a new millennium. The world is full of hope, and yours truly, Sylvia London, is but a glimmer in the eye of a young Will Fisher, fresh out of college, getting ready to move to NYC. I'm so fucking excited. I'm about to take a road trip where I'll be driving from sunny San Diego all the way to the Big Bad Apple. I cannot wait to move to the best city in the world with the best boyfriend in the world. My love, Elon. He's the rabbi's son. And he's dreamy. We fell in love in the springtime, and get this, I'm his first boyfriend. He likes to tell me how all the love songs on the radio suddenly make sense. And we like to stay up late drinking cheap red wine and listening to Nina Simone, Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald. He has a thing for black female vocalists, and he's dreamy. And I love him. I remember the first time we said it. We said the L word. It was at his parents' house in Waterford, Connecticut on Passover. And after this long, ceremonious dinner with lots of l'chaim, we're finally lying in bed together, a single bed from his childhood, our faces pressed up against each other, sharing Manischewitz breath. He says it. I love you. And I say it back. I love you too. And then we just kept saying it. I love you. And kissing, I love you. Over and over, I love you again. After graduating from college, we ran off to Europe together and then hopped from one magical city to the next. Then he went back to Connecticut and I came here to my parents' house in San Diego so we could both save some money before moving to New York together. All the longing and waiting has been really hard, but my things are just about packed and I'm so ready to get in my car and head. Guess who? Hello? Hey, honey. Yeah, I'm good. I've almost finished packing and I cannot wait to see you and to kiss you. What's that? Yeah, sure, what's up? Something wrong? No. I'm here. And I'm hearing you. I'm fine. I'm just fine. Fuck. Elon dumped me. Just like that. It's over. Just like that. You know, no one ever told me what heartbreak feels like. Fuck. I don't know what to do with myself. So, I go shopping. Seems like the logical thing to do, like what Carrie Bradshaw and her Sex and the City gal pals would do after a breakup. If you're gonna be a New Yorker, you might as well start acting like one, right? So I buy these sexy jeans that make my ass look like I have an ass. I buy fancy shoes, some home accessories. There's nothing quite like retail therapy. Maybe buy some drag. You see, I tried drag once or twice, and I thought I would try it again in New York. I found this white vinyl top with hot pink feathers, and a matching white vinyl skirt with the same hot pink feathers. So good. My final stop is this old bookstore on a side street near the mall. Entering the store, I suddenly feel a sense of wonder come over me. I've never been here before, and yet it feels so familiar, like maybe from a dream. I'm roaming the aisles, not sure what I'm looking for, and I nod at the old man behind the counter who nods back. He doesn't say anything, but his eyes behind his gold-rimmed glasses seem to point me to the aisle on the far left side of the store. As I walk, something pulls me to the back corner, where a stream of late afternoon sun shines through the window and lights up the book. I read, Gay Soul, Finding the Heart of Gay Spirit and Nature with 16 writers, healers, teachers, and visionaries. I didn't know it at the time, but this was what I was shopping for all day. Well, this and the white vinyl two-piece with the others. I'm leaving for my road trip tomorrow, and I finally feel ready. Oh. The next day, Elon is the first thing I think of, and this empty feeling in my heart mixed with the anxiety of the move is sickening. But fuck it. I'm moving to NYC with or without him. I've just about finished packing all my stuff in the hand-me-down Oldsmobile my parents have agreed to let me take to New York. And let's just say there's an emphasis on the old in this Oldsmobile. It's a sort of faded bronze color with a tan, velvet crushed interior. Luxurious in its day, perhaps, but now just kind of sad. I've crammed it so full of my things that it nearly scrapes the pavement as I pull out of my parents' driveway. My folks stand on the front lawn to see me off, Dad waving a goofy dad smile, Mom holding tightly onto the dog's leashes and tightly onto her tears so they don't spill out. As I leave San Diego, I catch a glimpse of the Pacific Ocean in my rearview mirror. And my tears start to spill out. It's about then that I realize I'll be doing this for the next 41 hours over 5 straight days. Nothing but this. Now, what I've realized since that first heartbreak is that when you're dealing with a broken heart, it's best to keep kind of busy. You don't want a lot of free time. With that in mind, an activity I would not recommend right after a heartbreak is to drive across the fucking country. I try to distract myself with some music. It went off. I'm crying so hard sometimes I have to pull off the side of the road because I can't see through my tears. It's like when you're driving through a rainstorm and it's pouring so hard that your windshield wipers just can't keep up. So after crying and sobbing for 12 hours, I finally pull off the highway and check into this motel in Albuquerque, New Mexico. As I've been packing some stuff for the night, I've noticed the white vinyl two-piece with the hot pink feathers, and I can consider recreating that scene from Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, where one of the queens is driving across Australia in a big pink bus. She gets all done up in drag and goes out to try to meet some of the local trade. She nearly gets herself killed. I'm not ready to risk my life in New Mexico. Instead, I pull out my book. It's a series of interviews by Mark Thompson with leaders from the gay spirituality movement. Gay spirituality, I've never even heard of that concept before. Each interview offers wisdom through the words of these visionaries about what is special about being gay in the world today. I sit on the stiff double bed in the generically decorated motel room and I open it up. I'm quickly transported, swimming through a sea of sparkly queer wisdom. I read the words of Andrew Harvey. Hearts were made to break. By accepting heartbreak and allowing the heart to break again and again without fear or consolation, a space is opened in the heart in which the whole universe can be placed. Such vulnerability is sacred, I believe, and the source of the highest and most luminous forms of strength. I read chaos can either destroy us or provide the pain and energy for our transformation and press us to define ourselves more clearly and fiercely. In a bad time, let obstacles become the spurs to enlightenment. We have to learn how to become phoenixes and rise again and again out of the ashes of humiliation, desolation, and grief. These words seem so powerful and true, and like they're speaking directly to my wounded heart. But they were also hard to take in. Like I understood the concepts in my head, but I still feel like shit. I pass out with the book still open, hoping the wisdom might seep in while I sleep. But the next day, Elon is the first thing I think of, and I feel that same empty feeling in my heart. But I have to drive on. Back to this. Today I'm not quite as weepy, but now I'm obsessed over why he did it. I keep beating myself up for not asking on the phone. I've been so stunned in the moment I couldn't muster anything but silence, and now it's driving me fucking crazy. So after driving 8 hours, I pull off the highway and stop at this ghost town near Amarillo, Texas. I stop at this little abandoned park and I lean up against an old oak tree, and then I do exactly what you're not supposed to do 2 days after a breakup. I call my ex. Hi, yeah, I'm just driving away. I finally get up the nerve. Big breath. So, why exactly did you break up with me? And then I hear, I realized I was attracted to you like I'm attracted to a black female vocalist.
Huh. Sorry, what?
Like, Ella? Okay. Bye. I don't know what to say. I wish I'd said, well, I'm not a black female vocalist, but I do have strength. I do have grace. And I do have soul. And if soulful loving is not the kind of loving you're looking for, I can surely swish away. And may one day some man say to me that I'm attracted to you like I'm attracted to a black female vocalist. And that's why my love for you is so damn strong. That man, yes, that man is the man for me. What the fuck? The only way I can really interpret that is that I was too feminine for him. You know, he definitely hinted at that sometimes. I remember we were walking down a canal in Amsterdam once, and something startled me. I gasped. He said, "Why are you so skittish all the time? Man up." Man up. He used to say that if I worked out more, I'd have a more masculine-looking body. Yes, my body is kind of feminine. It was also that time I did drag. He seemed really embarrassed. Maybe that's what did it. Maybe drag is some unforgivable turnoff. I mean, what does it say about me that I like putting on women's clothes? Why did I even do it in the first place? Holly Culkey. Holly Culkey. That's who first did me up in drag. We were 16 years old in the 9th grade in the early 90s when Holly taught me about Morrissey and espresso and Shakespeare and the word chic and the chicness of an all-black ensemble. She was fucking cool and she liked hanging out with me. It was good timing too. Saw my A-list friends who just dropped me when rumors spread that I shopped for women's lingerie and stuck gerbils up my ass like Richard Gere. 9th grade really sucked. But at least I had Holly and our nights at the Panikin Cafe where we listened to live jazz and sip our cappuccinos and flip through black or white photography books and talk about how stupid everyone was. It was awesome. Things changed when Holly started to crush on me. I was still in denial that I was gay, so I asked her out. I remember our first date to the San Diego Wild Animal Park. At the bird show, I nervously grabbed her hand as the condor swooped over the audience's heads. And as we left, she pointed at 2 men in front of us also holding hands. I'd never seen that before. She laughed. I grabbed hers tighter, feeling terrified and excited. Eventually, I came out to her. She was like, "Oh my God, am I that ugly? Can I turn you gay?" But she got over it when she got this super butch Mexican, Italian, homie type boyfriend named Angelo. He had it wrapped around her little finger. And the 3 of us started hanging out and somehow got along famously. So this one night, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, had just come out in theaters, and they were having a premiere event in Hillcrest, San Diego's neighborhood, where they were letting all the guests dressed in drag in for free. It seemed like a perfect excuse to try drag for the first time. Holly agrees to be my date and get me ready. She even convinces Angela to join us. So I show up at her house, and she does me up in one of her sleek, soft, black cocktail dresses, a pair of black pumps, and a short, red, flirty, bob-cut wig. For my purse, we used a Tide box to be bedazzled. She does my makeup like she does her own. A dark black cat eye, rouged cheeks, deep red lips. I take a look in the mirror. Oh my God! I look gorgeous! Get me to the red carpet, please. I'm ready for the premiere. But just as we're leaving, Holly and her mom get in this nasty argument, and now she's not about to let Holly run off with her gangster boyfriend and her gay ex-boyfriend in a dress to go see some queer movie about drag queens. The night is ruined. But Holly has a plan B. She convinces Angelo to be my date, and I was not complaining. Oh, darlings, it was a marvelous night. We walked right past the ticket line to the red carpet, posed for pics with the paparazzi, and entered the theater where the drag queen hostess beckoned me to join all the other queens strutting across the stage. My first time in the drag spotlight. The movie was fantastic. A crew of drag sisters traveling across Australia in a big pink bus, performing ABBA along the way. So inspiring. Afterwards, I parade Angelo past all the jealous queens. He enjoyed the attention. But eventually, we had to make her feel. So I dropped Angelo off and start driving through the twisty mountain roads towards my parents' house. As I drive, something compels me to touch myself. I'm getting excited as I feel my boyhood beneath my silky, soft dress. My cock hits hard and I stroke it as the turns get twistier. Headlights illuminate tall, gnarly eucalyptus trees as I turn and stroke and turn and stroke. The windows open, the cool night air whipping through my red bob-cut wig as I turn and stroke and turn and stroke. The sleek dress rubbing up and down against my hard 16-year-old cock as I turn and stroke and turn and stroke. I catch a glimpse of myself in the rearview mirror and feel like a red-headed slut jacking off her and stroke and turn and stroke and turn and stroke and bam! I slam on the brakes just before crashing into a eucalyptus tree as my cock explodes. Fuck! White cum shoots out over Holly's black cocktail dress. Smell of eucalyptus. My sweet seed fills my nostrils. A new part of me is born. Holly Colby. That's who first did me up in drag.
Yes, yes.
You know what? If I really think about it, the real first time, I was actually just a little boy. I was maybe 7 or 8. At that time, I used to worship my older sisters. They were the prettiest and coolest girls in their San Diego junior high schools. They both had totally 80s hair. Josie would aqua spray it until it was really big. And Cinnamon, yes, her name is Cinnamon. She grew her bang out really long so it swept across her face, making her only able to see out of one eye. I remember they used to flip their hair, and I used to try to do it with my floppy blonde boy locks. Everything they did, I did. Everything they liked, I liked. From Bengals to the Cabbage Patch Kids. They were my Egyptians, and I wanted to walk like them. So this one night, Cinnamon has a sleepover, invites all the most popular girls in her class, and I stay up late with them, playing the cute younger brother role and laughing at all their jokes. So one of them says, like, "Oh my God, Cinnamon, we should totally do Willie's makeup." Woo! They all squeal with laughter, sit me down, and start painting my face. Before I know it, bright blue splashes above my eyes, hot pink sweeps across my cheeks, ruby red sinks into my lips. I pretend I don't like it because somehow I know that's what I'm supposed to do. But then I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and all resistance drops. Baby Syl was peeking out, and I liked her. I finally felt like I was really one of the girls. Like, oh my God, you guys, let's totally put on the bangles. Yes. Walk like an Egyptian. Oh my God, go Danielle. Gag me with a spin, Meredith. Oh my God, Dad. I'm clutching Cinnamon's Cabbage Patch doll, my head down in shame, wishing so badly I had long blonde hair like all of them that I could hide behind so Dad didn't see me. Cinnamon, what the hell is wrong with you? You girls need to quiet down. Willie, wash that crap off your face and go to bed. Mom would have been so mad if she caught me, I think. As I slowly walk to the bathroom mirror, I'm embarrassed and upset. But not enough to keep me from posing a few more times in the bathroom mirror. I then wash my makeup off, but I do it strategically so that it looks like I tried, but I leave some on so I can see my pretty little girl face again the next day. I still do that sometimes. After a drag gig, I leave a little bit of the mask behind. Maybe a glitter brow or some eyeliner. Something to remind me of the magic that I held the night before. Driving across the country that day, drag didn't feel like a magical gift. It felt like a fault. There must be something wrong with me. I finally come around to accept myself for being gay, but clearly I'm not a normal gay guy. I'm something else. I'm watching the sun set on the plains of Illinois, turning the dry corn leaves pink. And I think of the white vinyl two-piece with the hot pink feathers. I wish I hadn't bought it. I wish I hadn't loved trying it on. I feel ashamed of my joy. At night, I check into another Motel 8 and I set up a feast from Taco Bell on my bed. And in between my Nacho Supreme and my Taco Bell Grande sits my book. Tonight I read about the Berdache. It's a Native American term for people who embody both male and female identities. I read the words of Clyde Hall. Berdache walk in both worlds because you are elements of both male and female, but you're neither. You don't fit in, you're a go-between. And consequently, it's easier for you to transcend from this physical to the spiritual realm. It's pretty cool. I read the words of Bill Roscoe. He says, the Berdache that I know today all have lots of awareness of self. They're what you call queens. When they come into a room, you know it. They make the party a good party. They connect. They speak the truth. They're blunt. They're fearless and will do anything without consideration of social conventions or gender boundaries. Will Roscoe. Maybe that's what I am. I take the last bite of my Taco Supreme, wipe the sour cream off my face, and pass out. The next day, it sucks all over again. And I'm so sick of obsessing, stuck in this car on these barren, never-ending highways. I can't take it anymore. Fuck it. I'm gonna power through this drive if it takes me all night. And it does. But at 6:23 a.m., I catch my first glimpse of the glorious city that is New York. The rising sun lights up the iconic skyline, and I'm immediately in awe and in love. In New York, these streets will make you feel brand new. These lights will inspire you. Now I'm in New York. After arriving in the Big Bad Apple, I quickly find those distractions from heartbreak I so desperately needed. A whole city of distractions. And the gays. Oh my God, the gays. There were so many different kinds of them. Who knew that homos came in such a wide variety of shapes and sizes and personalities? There were gay punks and twinks and bears, oh my. Muscle queens, show queens, drag queens, otters, cubs, wolves, gay geeks, gay jocks, out gay professionals, host boys, circuit boys, Chelsea boys, Kelsey boys, bearded Brooklyn fags, art fags, lady fags. The list goes on and on and on. All the queers. We'll be there all night. But what was most exciting to me was that encompassed in all these beautiful homos and gays was this wide range of gender expression. This really blew my mind, and I started to see all the possible expressions of gender stretching out before me like a line across the city, with the butchest of the butch on one side and the femmiest of the femme on the other. Here, Let me show you. Ladies, gentlemen, trans folk, two-spirit, butches, femmes, genderqueers, and the rest of you, I present to you the gender line. Now, let's try this out, shall we? I'll give over here a try. Fuck yeah! I feel so fucking strong and powerful and direct and a little aggro. That was interesting. I'll give over here a try. Oh, I feel so flexible, free-flowing, and frivolous. That's not exactly me. Now, Sylvia London, she fits somewhere around, yes, here, darlings. And I sort of danced across the line, depending on the mood and the scenario. And when I first moved to this city, I really wanted to dance on the left side. I felt rebellious. If Elon wasn't gonna love me because I was too femme, then fuck it. I was gonna be super femme. That white vinyl two-piece with the hot pink feathers had been calling my name all the way across the city. And I was ready to ruffle those feathers, honey. And as fate would have it, Wigstock, Lady Bunny's Drag Queen Festival was happening a week after I arrived. A perfect event for Sylvia to make her NYC debut. Oh, seeing all those queens strut across Chelsea piers, their sequins and glitter sparkling in the sunlight, it was magic. My white vinyl two-piece with the hot pink feathers was a hit, and I felt like one of the girls. Fuck heartbreak. I'm Sylvia London, an NYC drag queen and proud of it. Huh. I quickly found my drag crew. A group of misfit ladyboys all fresh out of drama school and ready to NYC by the walls. So we started a guerrilla drag troupe we called Snap Dragon Productions. And we started performing and putting on parties at downtown bars and clubs. The troupe was made up of me, Mimi Valdez, Agatha Christie, Galactica, Crystal Snow, Princess Anorexia, Shania Rendezvous, Petra, and Justin Scott, our handsome stylist and drag handler. These were really elaborate and kind of demented, like performing an onstage sex change operation to Gwen Stefani's I'm Just a Girl. We also threw these annual players balls with wacky dress-up themes like Pimp Circus and Whores of Jupiter. And then we started this monthly party called Blo, spelled B-L-O with an accent over the O. Monosyllabic party names were really hot back then. We didn't really make much money, but as long as there were plenty of drink tickets, we didn't care. But to save a buck, we'd always skip the expensive cab rides and get to our drag gigs on the subway, dressed in full drag. This usually wasn't a problem. One time it really was. You see, Agatha Christie and I had booked this gig working the holiday party for Crunch Gym. It was taking place at Plaid, which used to be called Spa. Monosyllabic. They were looking for unusual acts, so Agatha tells them that we are fortune teller drag queens. She said she'd read a book on the tarot and we'd be fine. So I show up at Agatha and Galactica's railroad apartment in Hell's Kitchen, which always inevitably became a sea of dresses and heels and wigs. It was like a glitter hair grenade exploded in the hallway. So after pulling every piece of drag from their closet, we finally decided to go with these punk rock looks. They were left over from a number we did. It was Jem and the Holograms versus the Misfits, which ended with Pizzazz beheading Jem in slow motion. Punk rock, fortune teller, drag queens. Why not? We show up at the club. I'm wearing a hot pink, jet black, two-tone flip wig, a tiny black leather miniskirt, hot pink fishnet stockings, and big black pumps, and a tiny top hugging my birdseed-filled pantyhose tits. The gig was great. The more drinks we had, the more elaborate we got with people's fortunes, laying out their career paths, love lives, babies on the way, deaths on the horizon. Turns out people trust punk rock fortune teller drag queens. Before they find out we're frauds, we book into our favorite after-hours spot, the Cock, party till closing, then stumble to the trains and make our way home. I get to my place in Brooklyn, safe and sound, but when I go to unlock my door, to my horror, I realize I've left my keys in my pant pocket, buried under a sea of drag in Hell's Kitchen. Fuck. So I get back on the train in full drag and head to Midtown. I wake up. The sun is up. We're at the end of the F line in fucking Queens. No, wait, it gets worse. My purse, my wallet, and my phone are missing. And people are getting on the train in business suits on their way to work. Dragaster! I try to cover my slutty punk rock drag look. Hide behind my two-tone flip wig, wishing so badly it were long and blonde. And proceed to take the longest subway ride of my life, followed by the longest walk of my life. A sketchy man passes and asks where to go for a good time. This is a whole new level of walk of shame. I nearly break down in tears, but finally arrive at Hag's apartment where I profess I will never fuck with fortune telling again. I take off my wig, decide it's time to take a little break from drag. The partying had become a bit much, and I missed having a boyfriend. Prancing around in pumps didn't seem like the best way to find one. A week later, I convinced Justin to join me for an underwear party. We found a listing in the back of HX magazine. Sexy Brooklyn underwear party. Fit guys under 30. Clothes check at the door. As NYC newbies, the thought of partying in our undies was terrifying and exciting. We show up at the club, stripped down to our undies, put our clothes in a garbage bag clothes check, then enter to see sexy 20-somethings milling about in designer underwear and drinking cocktails. It's a hot scene. Bare skin and big bulges lit up by bright blue bulbs. It feels good to be partying without all the makeup and heels and glamour for once. Just us dudes, hanging out with our packages on display. I'm not sure what to do, so I order a drink, meander around until I see him. He's a short, stocky, boxer-clad Jewish guy with dark curly hair and a sly, charming smile. We make eye contact, then he approaches. I find out his name is James, and James is one sexy geek. He's trying real hard to play cool, but eventually we both admit we've never been to anything like this before, and he grabs my hand and leads me to one of the darker rooms, where we discover some hot, sexual chemistry. A week later, we go on this date that lasts 24 hours. Yeah, sometimes it just happens like that. We're fully fledged boyfriends before we know it. And I'm on cloud 9. He's my first boyfriend since Elon broke my heart, and he's perfect. He's shorter than me, which I love because it makes me feel like a tall, luxurious supermodel. He's really smart and responsible and great in bed, and he's creative and he's talented and he's great in bed. And he's really great in bed. But no, seriously, he was also a real family man. He wanted to have kids one day, which is a dream of mine too. I could see the possibility of a future with him. But there were some things that he wasn't very open-minded about, and was less than accepting of the whole drag thing. I was willing to extend my little break from Sylvia if that's what was needed. My drag sisters weren't having it, all bitching about me behind my back. Who does she think she is? She gets this geeky boyfriend, and now she doesn't need us. But there was little they could do, and without my energy behind Snapdragon, our guerrilla drag troupe sort of dwindled away. I didn't care. I have my man now. But sometimes I would miss Sylvia. I would hear her whisper in my ear. I might be at a club watching the gorgeous queen command the room, and I would hear, "See that magic, darling? That was yours and can be still. See that beauty, that stimulating, spectacular artistry she serves the adored crowd. You can serve that too. Don't you miss that heightened state of being, that larger-than-life presence? Don't you miss that feminine energy coursing through your veins? Don't you miss me?" And I did. But I didn't want to risk it with James, so I'd push her deeper into the closet. Yeah, but sometimes she sort of got out. Like this one time. My mother came to visit. Now, my mom loves my gay friends. She feels like she can let her hair down and not be judged for her eccentric ways. They love her right back. They call her Mama Fisher. She calls them her posse. So this one night, Petra decides to throw a barbecue in her honor at the gorgeous white stone mansion where he serves as a resident houseboy up in Harlem. Mom shows up at the party, and she has this mysterious bag. And then after hot dogs and hamburgers and cocktails, the mysterious bag comes out. And then, with James watching from the corner, my friends and I are all asked to go to the bag and pull out gifts. Gifts of women's lingerie. And now it's my turn. Go on, Sylvia, do it, girl. So I nervously reach in and pull out a bright pink lacy bra. Why, yes, I'd love to try it on. I do. Miss London finally let out to play. Darling, you all look so gorgeous. I think it's time for a walk-off. Where are those panties, Petra? Then I see him. James staring. Arms crossed, straight-faced, staring. And I want so badly for him to smile, to laugh, to see that what we're doing isn't wrong and ridiculous and fucked up, it's just fun. But maybe it is wrong and ridiculous and fucked up. I mean, what kind of mother-son relationship involves a mom giving her son and all his queenie friends pieces of women's lingerie? But if it is wrong and ridiculous and fucked up, Mom didn't care. Because we were having fun. And she was celebrating our feminine spirits. And the sun was spilling into the white room, lighting up the pink and purple and lemon and lime lingerie. So lovely and lacy and full of laughter. So frilly and free and full of frivolity. Mom's love lighting up our queer spirits like the sun lighting up the brightly colored lingerie. That night, I stay up late sitting on the bed in Mom's hotel room, reading passages I'd underlined while driving across the country. I read James Soslow's interview. He says, to me, drag is about taking a lot of very rigid social expectations and turning them upside down. It's a way of not being caught in polarized ways of thought and of trying to find some way of connecting with both the masculine and the circular. I read, being involved in cross-dressing is a way of laying claim to all the possible archetypes of the universe. When I'm in drag, I'm not really a girl in the divide between women and men. I like being right on the fence, to be able to sense and experience both sides, and to implicitly point out that the divisions are artificial. These wise elders are telling me that drag is a gift. And I want so badly to believe them. But I can't stop seeing James's disgusted face. And I can't shake the shame. Why did you have to bring that bag to the party, Mom? It's really embarrassing. And now James is probably going to dump me. The next day I go to his house. And he tells me that he felt really uncomfortable, but he didn't want to talk about it. Better than being dumped, I guess. That night, I have a dream. I dream that I'm a frog, and I'm swimming through this murky gray pond. And then I see a light deeper in the woods, so I start hopping towards it, and I come to a new pond, a glittery, sparkly pond. And I can't resist sparkly things, so I jump in and start swimming around. And when I get out, I emerge as a shining fairy prince. And all around me are these magical creatures dancing around the sparkly pond. Next day, I remember a passage from Gay Soul. It was an interview with a guy named Harry Hay. And he talks about this group that had been around since the late 70s or something. They were called Radical Fairies and were like gay hippies. Look through the book until I find the passage, and I read, at fairy sanctuaries, we began inventing, discovering, even rediscovering more honest and genuine expressions of ourselves. This revealed what I call the beautiful fairy prince, hidden beneath the ugly green frog skin of hetero-imitative conformity. I want my beautiful fairy prince to shine through. This dream was a sign. I had to check out one of these fairy sanctuaries. I remember a friend had mentioned something like this before, so I call him up and I find out that there's an upcoming gathering called Beltane. It's down in Tennessee at a sanctuary called Short Mountain. I have to go. So, I pack up old Oldsmobile once again. I hit the road and I head south to Tennessee. Something out there I can't resist. I arrive on May 1st, the day of the Beltane ritual. I step out of my car and walk out to this open piece of land. And there, on this desolate mountaintop, are hundreds of magical creatures like I've never seen before. A guy dressed up like a Muppet creature greets me, and a bearded beefcake walks by wearing a floral print sundress. A crew of ladyboys, they strut their stuff in high heels on the rough terrain like it's a runway. Oh, and then a naked Butch Dyke leads a colorful crew, erecting this giant maypole into the ground. I take in all this bizarre drag and extraordinary self-expression and feel my eyes and my heart open wider than ever before. A feeling comes over me, a feeling of freedom so deep and profound that it makes me want to cry. And so I do. and I laugh, and I sing, and I dance, and I drum, and I frolic through the woods with my fellow Fae friends. I feel from them and this magical community the unconditional love I've been seeking. I feel held and safe and complete. And in that completion, I discover that who we are at any given moment is always changing. It's like life is one long, beautiful improvisation. And drag doesn't define us. Drag is a tool we can use to embellish this performance of our lives and try on new ways of being. It's a way to connect with all the energies inside us and discover who we are and who we can be. Suddenly, the gender line began to bend and stretch and curve and cave and flex and dash and swivel and sway and spin out into a rainbow psychedelic abyss. Now, I wanted to try a new kind of drag. One that wasn't about gender illusion. One that went beyond the human experience. I wanted to use drag to get in touch with my inner lion or tree or insect. I wanted to discover my dark magic witch geisha, my flamboyant genderqueer clown, my cybernetic genderfuck alien, my magical mystical woodland being, my goddess of the elements. And to my great surprise, there were many spirits inside of me, and new ones emerged every night as I'd get ready in my tent, my headlight shining into my tiny compact mirror. I would adorn my body with fabrics and nature and objects and paint. And then I'd step out of my tent, and the new character was born, ignited by the night's magic. And soon I would discover their voice, their movement, their attitude and energy. And then, with my vibrant cast of fellow Fae, we'd play out our unscripted dramas, dancing around the fire, high on the mountain top. We would celebrate our new selves, born under the fairy moon. The gathering ended, and a couple fairies decided to join me for the ride home. But before we leave, we put on ABBA, we get naked, and we spray paint the old Oldsmobile bright pink. On the road, we sing along to ABBA at the top of our lungs. Mamma mia, here I go again, Mama. How can I resist you? We read each other our astrological charts. We tell our coming out stories. We're immediately really close, even though we've just met. That night, we check into a Motel 8, and before bed, I read him this passage from Gay's Soul. Wherever I hurt, wherever I tingle, wherever I weep, wherever I guffaw, my soul is humming. It flexes with my desires and responses, my longings and my ailing. It operates in my heart, my deep gut, and my genitals. My soul entangles me in fantasies and surprising emotions. It is the playground to my instincts. James Broughton. The next day, I think about how different this feels from the last time driving across the country. I'm aware of all the beauty around me and inside of me. When we get to New York, I say bye to my new fairy sisters. And then before heading to Brooklyn, I call James and I gently and lovingly break up with him. I arrive at my apartment at sunset, climb out the fire escape, and up to the roof. The city skyline is silhouetted by the setting sun. And as people turn their lights on, it begins to sparkle, like the stars of Tennessee twinkling under the fairy moon. I realize I'm a new person now. So different from the broken-hearted boy who left his parents' driveway less than a year ago. And like the sparkling city skyline that is so full of different lives always evolving and expanding, I too am full of lives and of energies, masculine and feminine and beyond. Energies constantly seeking ways to express themselves and manifest in this world that is so hungry and desperate for our full, authentic, and divine selves to shine through. And so, let's shine, my beautiful friends. Let's shine. So much. Oh, that was really fun. Thank you so much.
Yay.
I want to thank a few people. I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Sine Nomine, who's been my stage manager up at Easton Mountain. Freddie Freeman, who's my sound designer up at Easton Mountain. A lot of you know these people. I want to thank the Duplex for being a really performer-friendly space, and for Armando, who just got all these light and sound cues today. Tonight, and Heather Hellfarm, who helped me get started on this journey. And then I really want to thank David Schechter, my director, who's been an incredible source of guidance and support and love. His other I thank all of you for the love and support you've given me, and you've brought me into this moment, and it's a really, really great moment. Thank you.
Yay.